Ladies and gentlemen, support for this podcast, as always, is brought to us by our boys at Market Squawk, powered by livesquawk.co.uk, for all of your on-demand, low-latency, pay-as-you-go data needs. If you are slinging hog bellies, doing orange juice, bobble chats, whatever you want, you need the quickest, most reliable, trustworthy information. Market Squawk powers livesquawk.co.uk. Support is also brought to us by our boys at xbrain.co.uk. Enter promo code Fighting Words to save 20% off of your order of any and all Xbrain products. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, second appearance, big appearance. We have British champion, IBF European champion, and Commonwealth, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, and Commonwealth.
And Commonwealth. Like, the Commonwealth is a lovely title to have, but it's also not a cool belt. Like, you've got the cool belt, which is the British, but Ekow the Engine Essuman is back with us. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, mate, always.
Again.
You know that.
Pleasure.
You know that. Absolute pleasure. Like, the last time you were supposed to be on, Jesse was supposed to be with as well, and that was when you remember, like, I had the Virgin van hit the box outside and level it. Jesse had a load of issues, but we're on and we're back. So how you been?
No, I've been good. You know what? I've just been getting on with things, haven't I?
Yeah.
Just have to move on and just adding different parts to the engine, upgrading all sorts, and just getting ready to take over the world.
I
Touring season's
love
over. It's time to have some fun and take over the world.
exactly.
Nice.
We had someone that actually hailed you as their hero on Tuesday, which was Ezra Taylor.
Yeah,
Like, he was my first, like, boxing inspiration. Like, we was at the same club. I learned so much from him. Like, he was like, just, I was like, it's nice. It
yeah,
was nice to hear, because normally people come on and they're like, I watched Roy Jones Jr. I done this, I done that, and then I just started to pretend. But no, like, he's like, I went in with nothing. I had no fighting people in my family. I saw this guy Ekow, and he was my one, and he
yeah. No, I
still
got I
is.
got love for Ezra. Like he's one of those people I always have time for him. I always give him advice and try and put him on the right track. Well, what I
Mm,
believe to be the right track. And I always used to tell him back at the club, like there were certain people that would come in and say, "Oh, like I want to be just like you. I want to box like you. I want to do this." And I just tell him like, "Don't want to be like me. Just want to be like yourself. Like
yeah, exactly.
create your own, because that's what it's all about. Don't ever go out there and think, oh, there's a boxer out there. I want to copy him. I want to beat him. No, you want to be yourself. That's
It's nice to
exactly
be a
what.
role model.
Yeah, no. It's brilliant to be a role model, but even within that, you got to show people the right way, because there's clues to success everywhere.
Mm, for
Yeah,
sure. Last time we spoke, you was about to be at Wembley. How much
yeah,
fun did you have in front of? Because I was there. I
yeah.
was in the nosebleeds, but it was immense. What was that like?
Uh, like on the build up to it, I kept telling myself, I'm just gonna focus on the match, because as boxers, all we do is we just fight. It's not about the crowd. It's not about this. Not about that. But yeah, match week, everyone was like kept asking me, "Oh, on such a big occasion, how do you feel about it?" And with being put onto that bill so late, I didn't
Mm,
have time to process the magnitude of the match.
yeah.
So it was kind of a good thing, to be fair, because I just got put on. I trained that, I made weight that week, and then I was just there, kind of thing. Um,
Mm,
it was an amazing experience. Having said all that about ignoring the crowd and whatnot, as soon as I started the ring walk, if you like, I think there's a video on my Instagram, but as soon as I start the ring walk, I like flick my head at one point, because I'm like vibing to the music, flick my head to try and get my hood to fall down. And when it goes down, I think I want to put it back up. There's too many people. That's when it all hit me like, oh damn, okay, this is an occasion. But yeah, I
proper.
mean, get in the ring, you start boxing, and you block it all out and just do what you need to do.
Yeah, you shut that boy out. Like, you completely shut him down. But like, from
He's a good Darren's a wicked boxer. His depth of field and his boxing ability was wicked. I enjoyed boxing him. I went in there. I think the first few rounds, I was trying to land a big punch,
hmm
and so make a statement performance on such a big stage, but he was never gonna let me do that. Like
No.
get an early stoppage of any sort. So I just like I settled into the match and I just
Mm.
boxed. And then when I came out of the ring, I was thinking, you know what? Like, because people call me the engine, they say, yeah, I have a good engine, but I never really like I had a self belief system, like never believe the hype. Like everyone else can hype about certain things, but you don't have to believe it.
Yeah.
So I never really thought, yeah, I have a good engine. Yeah, I'll depend on that. I always depend on different things because if that's a good thing, I'll work on it. But I want to work on my faults and just perfect everything else. And I think after that match, it really hit home because I thought, like, when there's a certain point of the match of my matches where my coaches will just be like, yeah, he's done well till now, but it's just your time. Just go out there and do your thing. Like these are
Exactly.
your round. You're warm now. Go do what you do. And I was kind of I didn't think too much about that. But after that match, I actually sat down and thought, you know what? The last few rounds, I could when I watched it back, I was like, no, you know what? I was letting my hands go, and I was actually getting faster. I was getting this, I was getting that. I was boxing better, and my
Mm.
work rate was really high. So the takeaways from that is just yeah, well, not believe hype.
Yeah.
Um, but I saw what I can do, and I know I can do better. So I just planned on enjoying it more. And in my next match, I got to. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And like the thing is, from your perspective and your career, the only way that that gets a bigger on a bigger stage is if you're headlining at like
yeah,
co-main at Wembley, sold out Wembley. There was so many people, it was insane. And
yeah,
co-main, everyone was in their seats. Like it was like ancient Rome up in the stands, mate. It was wild. It was
yeah,
truly nuts. I'm glad you had a good time, like because you're like a fight fan's fighter. You're
yeah,
a purist,
Yeah.
like go to is what you are. You know, it's
yeah,
there's no hype talk, there's no anything. It's just all done in the ring, and like it's just very refreshing. And like what we was chatting about before we hit record,
yeah,
like you're going to have the British outright. You're one of four you said that's done it in the last 18 years.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? That's worth its weight. It's the nicest belt in world boxing, even though it's
yeah,
like a
Yep.
national title. And like with like Denzel lately, like he has been like the board should pay him some sort of fee for the amount
yeah,
that he has been hyping up the value of the British title, which
yeah,
you've held
yeah.
and got outright. Like he's like these are 12-round fights. These are just absolute. There's no easy fights for the British title.
Nah,
These are our
No.
there's
equivalent. Yeah,
none. Yeah,
none, none
yeah,
whatsoever. You know, if you're at British level, you're 2, 3, 4 fights away from actual world contendership, which you're
yeah,
exceeded anyway. You just need the
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I won the British, my coach Barrington Brown and my manager Jimmy Gill, they was both
Hmm,
like, it's such a wicked belt to win, and I love the British personally. I think it's the
sure,
best, like the best looking belt because like
100%.
it's like a crown made into a belt. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
metal.
Yeah.
And, don't get me started on it because don't get me wrong. I loved all the belts because like they're really good, but that one's the British is just different.
Yeah.
But my coach and my manager both said like at first they were like, oh, so we should move on to this belt next and that and this and whatnot. But then my manager, Jimmy Gill, he's always of the ethos of if you win a belt, never give it up.
Mm.
Unless you're giving it up to fight for something better. So
Yep.
unless you
Yep.
really okay, I think I'm back.
Yep.
Yeah. um so yeah, he said never give up a belt unless I really have to. And then my coach turned around and he was like, you know what? You should win the British outright because just like you said, it's like making a statement, it's having a stamp in history.
Mm-hmm.
Represented Nottingham. I've won the British outright. I'm one of four boxers to do it in the last 18 years. Um and I think after doing that as well, I got rid of all the kind of like as psychologists would say, the imposter syndrome. Like
So you feel that you've
where
shed that?
yeah, like where you're at a certain level and you're thinking, am I really at this level? Am I like is it just that I happen to be here, or or am I like you like doubting
Yeah.
certain things? But yeah, after I did that, I was like, no, you know what? Yeah, like I'm about this. Like let's go. Yeah. So
I think I need your guy's
yeah.
name, mate. I get imposter syndrome making a coffee. Like I doubt everything. You know what I mean? So how long have you been working with Lee?
I started working with Lee Johnson just before the Jenkins fight.
Okay.
So not the longest of times. I think, yeah,
No.
not the longest of times, but we've done so much, covered so much. I'm a happier boxer for it. Camps are a lot more enjoyable
Yeah.
for it from just switching your mind frame on certain things and certain parts of camp that are normally hard. If you flip and reverse it and look at it a different way, you're like, no, you know what? If I actually go through that phase, like, imagine what I can do if I've just pushed a bit harder in that phase. Like, imagine what the match will be like. And then just pushes you to work hard and then go out there and do what you do.
For sure. And like there's so we saw it with Troy Williams and Josh Kelly very recently,
Yeah.
where Josh has obviously taken a bad L and he got a draw to Ray Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all see that there's been, there seems to be some psychological damage. Like with he's got all the talent in the world. He's an amazing fighter to watch when you get him on his day, but
Yeah.
there is something off. It can't be weaponized with you, which is what I
Yeah.
like, because it's one of the first things that will always be weaponized. So you've actually
Yeah.
turned
Yeah.
what is characteristically seen and spun as a weakness as even more of a hardening factor, which
Yeah.
again, that's a tribute to you as well. Like we're fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, cheers. Thank you.
No worries, man. Run me through the September bout. Good time?
Yeah, I had a good time. Samuel Antwi, very awkward boxer, kind of fashions himself a little bit off the Philly shell, but he
Mm,
does a lot. He does a lot more than just that. I really enjoyed fighting him. It only dawned on me after the match how much my presence was felt in there, because when I'd watched all his tapes, the way he fought with other boxers, he did not fight me the same way.
mm,
I was very cautious for his body shots. I wanted to get some counters off him, but he didn't really throw much to the body. Testament to the work I'd set up, the distancing that I'd set up, throwing him off and my jab and whatnot.
mm.
Um, yeah, it was a wicked match. I can't really complain with it. I enjoyed myself in there.
Is it one of the first ones now that you're starting to be like, no, I had a great time. I smashed that one. Like,
Yeah.
have you watched it back and torn it to pieces like normal, or are you like, no, I'm,
Um, I'll always be very overcritical with a lot of things I do, but I watched it back and I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the boxing, because sometimes as a boxer you can watch yourself box and it's just like you're cringing, like, why did I do that?
yeah,
What was that for? Um, but no, I enjoyed it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I think I need to get actually a prediction from you for this weekend.
yeah,
Well, Friday. What do you think,
Yeah.
Josh Kelly and Troy?
oh, I've been
Again
talking
for
to
the
people.
British, you know?
Yeah, um, I've been talking to people about it.
Mm,
Um, Off the bat, like, just for face value of someone said Josh Kelly and Troy, I say Troy straight away.
yep.
Just because I know what, obviously I was on GB with both of them. I know
Hmm.
what Troy is about. I know his, oh well, okay, I can't say I know his ethos, but I got a
Yep.
feel for his boxing ethos from sparring with him and just seeing what he's like
Troy's
as a
a
person.
savage, is what he
Yeah.
is. He's a barbarian of a man.
Yeah.
He
And
really is.
and I got the same for Josh's ethos. Um, However, I think it wouldn't be fair to say the Josh at GB is the same Josh as a
Mm,
pro. And I think after the Avanesian match, I would I would have thought he would have worked on changing a few of his his ethos in boxing and
mm.
what he can really do. Because I think in matches like that, he did he did well and he caught David at times, but like, I've sparred and and done a hell of a lot of rounds with David, and so I know he's like battle
Yeah.
hardened. He's a diamond, not a diamond in the rough. He's a diamond. He's coming to fight, and
Yep.
either he's gonna knock you out, or you're gonna knock him out, and
Yep.
he's happy with that. Like
Yep.
it is what it is. So you're just gonna fight, and him going into the match with Josh Kelly with that mindset, I always thought David was gonna win because I think Josh Kelly's mindset is slightly different. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is now, but I know he would have been working on himself, and I think a Josh Kelly who's trained hard and he's mentally resolute and tough, and he knows what he wants, and he's prepared to just go to the brink to get it. I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Do you
If not,
really?
yeah, I think it
Interesting.
could be a 50-50 fight. If Josh boxes at a 12-round pace.
Yeah.
I know there's people giving him a lot of stick for not being a 12-round fighter. I think it's in part of his what I believe to be his ethos, the way he boxes.
Yeah.
Um, boxes off his reflexes, his sharpness. So obviously, as the match goes on, your reflexes
Mm-hmm.
they start to slack a little bit. A few more seconds get added to it, and you're not as sharp and you're not as fresh. So obviously, he won't box the same. Whereas someone like Troy, who's just a savage through and through, he doesn't depend on his reflexes to get those fast counters and like the things that make you look good. He's just a bit like me. He's just ready to do the work, ready to drag you to
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
trenches and leave you there.
Yeah. Did you watch the
Yeah.
face-off between them two?
No, I didn't. Well, actually, I think I saw the first one. Yeah, I saw the first one actually. Yeah.
The Wasserman did like a, like the gloves are off, like literally
Yeah.
face off
Oh,
with Ant Corolla doing the interview. It's worth a
oh
little
no,
watch.
no, yeah, I'll give that a watch. Actually, I didn't know they did
The
that.
uh the size difference between the two of them is
Yeah,
pretty vast. Like
yeah. I
pretty
thought I was
vast.
actually watching something on ITV, and one of the people said, actually at that when they were comparing the size difference between them, I think Troy had just had a takeover match, but he was fighting at super middle. So they
Yeah.
was trying to explain that he looked so big because he had fought at the higher weight, and Josh was obviously at light middle or whatever. But in general, I know Troy is literally just a middle middleweight boxer through and through.
That makes it
He
down to
obviously has to
154.
lose weight to get down to light middle and whatnot,
Yeah.
but he's basically he's at the weight he should be at, and you could say he's big for the weight. He's got the frame,
Yeah.
and
He's a unit.
and Josh he can obviously make welterweight. But it's about how he makes welterweight. But light middle, he looks healthy at light middle, and that's what it's all about. If
Yeah.
you're good and fit and healthy, you can do the rounds. Just boxing.
But then, like, when he was at welter, well, this is not going to be a slam Josh session at all. It's not that.
Yeah,
Like, when he was at welter, he didn't seem to be that fussed about presenting himself as the best in the land. He almost felt that he was going above it. And I think to someone like a Troy, that's jarring to him because, like
yeah,
what he had to do to get his British, much like what you had to do to get your
yeah,
British. And then you have someone not dismissing it, but now they're coming to that to understand that this is where they need to be now.
yeah,
It's just like, well, why weren't you there before?
yeah. I mean, different promoters, different management, different paths to obviously a world title. You can
Mm,
go through the international belt route where sometimes you can pick up an intercontinental and just keep fighting the right opponents and be
yep.
matched well, and your ranking will just keep going up and up and
Hmm.
up and up. And then there's no
Mm-hmm.
point going for the British because it's like too much of a risk at a certain point to come back for the British because you're just so high, you might as well just go for the worlds. But
Yeah. But then it
like
also
myself,
holds value.
yeah, but myself and a few other boxers want to like the way I see it is my boxing career so far. Like I know through and through, I'm a proven boxer because
Fact.
I've come in from small hall shows, um, and not for like a lot of journeyman to get my
Mm,
ranking up.
Mm.
I've gone so since the English, I've just basically been in what people would say 50-50 fights. I don't think some of them are 50-50, but it is what it is. But I mean, come up the hard way, and I know I've proven myself. So when I get to a certain level, I know in myself I am that level.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
even now, like my coach will say to me before going into the ring, because he was my coach when I was halfway through my amateur career. He came on board with my team, and he'll just be like, yo, you do realize you fought harder people than the amateurs. Like, let's just go out there, have fun, and just beat this guy up, and then laugh about it, come home and chill, kind of
That's
thing.
perfect. Right, you know,
Yeah,
from an attitude perspective, it's just the best.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's all smiles. It's like, look, it is what it is. I've done the work. Now it's
yeah,
fun time now, right?
yeah, yeah. My coach always gets me to smile walking to the ring. At GB, I
Should.
used to be like pissed off and like grunting and like fierce, but he was just like, nah, man, just smile and enjoy yourself to the ring. It's the good bit. You should be happy about it.
What's the plan then for you for 2023? So obviously with
Um,
December tomorrow, you
yeah,
fought
yeah.
what
December tomorrow.
twice 22?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have wanted to get a nice little cheeky one in
Mm.
before the end of the year. Little snidbit.
Did you
Um,
not have a little word with Frank and say, look, you're not going to put me on the Spurs card or what?
well, I was gonna say little snidbit. Funnily enough, after my last match, I got a
Mm.
phone call like I think 2 weeks later, like from my agent, like do you want to box on a bill in a week? Like just defend your British out on just a cheeky one, and I was like. I boxed like 2 weeks ago. Like I was spending time with the family. I'm chilling. Like no. And they was like,
It
yeah, we
wa-
know you're fit, so we thought we'd just ask anyway.
I think he just wanted a little bit of commish to end out the year, to be honest. I think he wanted his percentage.
He was up in his ins.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't be asking someone to fight that quick of a turn. It's not like you're like a 2-0. It's not like you're in the journeyman, like binman bashing up phase.
Well, to be fair, I did say to them I wanted to get out a lot. I wanted to get out as much as possible. So I mean,
Mm.
they, they're gonna throw out the offer, see if you bite. But my plans, I wanted to go for um obviously David Avanesian has the EBU title, and that's a really good
Hmm.
belt for getting your ranking up.
Yep.
So eyeing up that belt, and obviously hearing talks of him getting a world title shot or looking for a world title shot, I knew he'd have to vacate it.
Mm.
So I wanted to slip right in there
Yeah.
for that belt. However, obviously because of the way his last opponent kind of fell through, then another mandatory got made for the EBU title. And now with David going for the world title and vacating that, the mandatory that he has now has to
Yeah.
fight the last guy that was supposed to fight him, but pulled out on an injury um,
Right.
for the belt. That purse bids were in November, well, 15th of this month.
Yep.
And they'll be fighting, I think, in March. So really, well and truly, I can't really challenge for it until
4
probably
months.
June or well
Yes, that's a
after.
summer
Yeah,
job, that one. That's a liberty.
yeah. So really, I wanted, I had in mind that after winning the British outright, I wanted to move on
Hmm.
and still hold on to the IBF. But with that being said, and not being able to go for the EBU, I'm waiting around for
Mm.
a good opportunity. I'll see who. Think I have I've just bought my mandatory, so I'll have a voluntary.
Yep.
Um, so people give me offers like
Anyone, you know.
Anyone.
I understand I've got the belt. You want to come for the jugular? All smoke is welcome. Just state your claim.
How are
Because
the
I have to defend the British anyway. I think my mandatory should get set in March. I'd like to get out before then, but failing the British, I have the IBF European, so I can
hmm
always look for a step up in an opponent and someone brink world level just to set myself up for getting up the rankings and going for world level because last time I checked I was 11th or 12th on the IBF.
Yeah.
I think my manager said I was 25 or 26 on the WBA.
Right.
I want to get obviously on all the different belt organizations, associations, and councils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about that really. I'm at a point where I need to step up in opposition,
Hmm.
and I need to get some scalps in there, which I will do,
For sure.
and get my ranking up.
Would you prefer to do it the ultimate hard way and go, because those at welter are probably in the States, aren't they? The
Yeah,
the
yeah,
true top 10 boys. So like, if I remember rightly from when our Jesse and I's uncle had your title now, it almost guarantees you to have the IBF European. You're guaranteed a top 15
yeah,
ranking. Like the minimum
yeah,
you can have is 15th, right? So
yeah,
if you're like 11th, 12th, you get into top 10, 8, 9, around that
yeah,
area. They're all in the States. So would you prefer
yeah, yeah.
to
They are.
Uncle Frank to
And,
bring them over, or do you want to go to Vegas?
oh, I mean, who would turn down a Vegas match? But at the same
Mhm.
point, bring him over. I can get a scalp and then go out to Vegas. I
Perfect.
mean, I just want the opportunity, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, just want the opportunity, really.
I mean, but you're doing it in the way that makes it undeniable,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
exactly.
And
That's what I mean about like being proven. Like I don't like when I retire from boxing, I don't want people to like obviously some casuals will scrutinize your record and scrutinize it wrong. But I want like just people who know boxing to know like I was legit. I am
mm,
legit. I was legit. Like there's no two words about it.
no,
Just
far
simple
from
as
it.
like if
Yeah.
because
Proving it so
when I
far
got into
already.
boxing, what I thought was if you're gonna do something, you do it well. That's what my dad always taught me. So I
For
gotta do it
sure.
well.
And
Yeah.
also, who cares what casuals say? I had people
Yeah.
DMing
I know who
today.
cares.
You know,
To
I
be
mean, like,
to be fair, it's more for me. At least
yeah,
I know I'm proven. I'm legit. Yeah.
yeah, like he messaged to say that I put the video up of Junior talking about his
Yeah.
KFC sponsorship. And someone immediately took it upon
Mhm.
himself to DM to say that the Eubanks lot basically had Connor spiked, and that's why he has that grin. And I'm like, I think he always has that grin, you know. I don't think I don't think I've ever seen him without it. Like he's just living his mate. Yeah, forget the casuals. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about all of that.
They watch too many movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you is there any planned return? Because maybe just throwing it out there, the O2 Yard Better Behave. That's quite a nice card to be on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at different bills that that are on, and obviously I'm in talks with my agent. There are there is there is some possible fights being set up. In
Mm.
talks, but just waiting to hear back. And yeah, if that comes through, I'll enjoy that one because it'll be a good one. I just put it that way. It'll be a good one. I'll let you guys know. I'll let you
Yeah.
guys know. Yeah.
What's been because we're in the wrap up season now this time, aren't we? We're nearly in December. What's been your fight
Yeah.
of the year so far?
Oh, fight of the year. You know what? I really enjoyed the all girl show.
Spice
That was
World.
Spice
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
World.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's not called. It wasn't called Spice World. We were calling it Spice World.
To the
I want to be
extent that
very
we think
clear
it's
about
that
that.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Clarissa and the Go Woat.
yeah. That was a good show.
That was a good
Clarissa
show.
It was.
really stood out the way she boxed, the boxing style, and Bum Gardner as well. And
Yeah.
the walkouts they were
Swag, wasn't
entertaining.
it?
They were,
Yeah,
weren't they?
swag. I was like, rah, like, yo,
Yeah,
we need to sort ourselves out. I know they got a bit of stick from it from some people, but I think it was good. It's entertainment. It's boxing. Like, yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. I mean, there was some child singer that was doing some sort of concert halfway through it that was very
Yeah,
confusing to
that
Jesse
wasn't.
and
That
I.
was really confusing.
I got no idea who he was, like what was going on, and like it was just this guy singing. I'm like, we're at fights, aren't we? What's going on? Like, yeah, it was a good show though, proper good
yeah,
show. And Boehm Gardner becomes a star. I was a bit gutted
Yeah.
for Sav, to be honest. I really wanted
yeah,
Sav to
yeah.
win.
I like Sav.
Yeah, it's really hard not to like. It's just like the Clarissa is like the antithesis of like how you conduct yourself as well.
Yeah,
So in that, you're much more in like the Savannah realm, aren't you, than you are. It's like
yeah.
it must
Like
have been
she's not very chill, but I
no,
mean,
No.
sometimes you just have to, you
zero chill. Yeah,
you just have to separate the people boxers' personalities from their performance, and like her performance was good. So gotta give people props when
it was
yeah,
great.
where it's
It was,
warranted.
it was a great card. Did you speaking of another domestic don, did you watch Fabio this weekend?
No, I didn't get to.
Oh
No.
mate, Fabio and Gorman. It was a
Yeah,
serious 4-rounder.
Very,
Like it,
very
again,
I
good.
heard about it. I need to watch it back actually.
what the British is all about is that this has been the year of the British. See, this is again, I need to have you in the domestic dons pile with one of these, like when you see the thing come up where it's just like, oh, that's a proper one, that one, because you just haven't had that yet.
No,
Like
no,
who?
yeah. I mean, I'll get it. It'll
Not
come.
yet. No,
It'll
no,
come.
no. I
Yeah,
know it's coming. It's coming, and it's
yeah.
not. This is it. I just want it for you. I want people to get to see you on that stage, to have it
Mm.
on the Channel 5 Wassermans, even
Yeah,
let
yeah,
Frank put it on Sky Sports or whatever. Like that's what it needs to be. Who
yeah.
would be your top three in the division? Your division. Let's be very honest about that. Your division that you'd be like, these three are the ones that I would personally like to fight because for my own selfish benefit, it would push me to a much higher level.
Um, I used to think me and Conor Ben would be a good match because of the way he's
Mm,
very explosive, come forward. He likes to
yep,
give it a go, and the way I am a pressure
Mm-hmm.
fire, it only calculates for a very entertaining fight.
for
So
sure.
selfishly, I'd love to be in a very entertaining fight like that with someone who's not afraid to just go inside pocket, do that
Hmm.
inside work, kind of Mexican style, and just go to war and whatnot. Um, I think a similar boxer to that might be Lewis Crocker,
Yeah.
and then I'm not too sure who else. Like
Mm,
to be honest, I don't really look at the rankings as madly as I used to. I know everyone's rank. I've been watching
mm,
everyone, but I don't look at it the way most people look at it. Um, I kind of just I'm in the ethos of I just fight whoever's in front of me because I don't necessarily like to have a set someone I'd like to fight. Because before I used to have this thing where like when Gary Cochran had the British, I was calling
hmm.
him out like, yo, I'd love to fight you. I'd just drown you in my energy. I'd do this, I'd do that, getting winding myself up about it. And then and then he unfortunately lost the British to
Yep.
I think the Mexican. And then yeah, so then my sights changed. Like, yeah, I'd love to fight him. That would be a good match. And then I actually cut a nod to the fact that I don't really care about the boxer. It's just the
Hmm.
belt. If I've
Yep.
got a belt in mind, just whoever has it, like you're just gunning for them, really. And I also understand that for myself. So I mean, that's why I always say, whenever I'm defending the British, it's some people's world title, and it's a wicked belt to have. So everyone's going to bring their A game for it. So I
For
treat the
sure.
British match
For
like
sure.
just like a world title match. Like it's on. Like I'm putting in a proper full camp for this. I'm gonna do all my homework on you, and I'm gonna make you pay for it.
100%. That's
100%.
and that's just again from a fan's perspective, which obviously we're fans to the level where we reach out and somehow manage to speak to you guys on a one-to-one
Yeah,
basis. Like from a fan's perspective, it's just epic to hear. Like now we're starting to hear things like Steve Bunce. All right, love him or hate him, but Steve Bunce will talk actually about you and Troy in the
yeah,
same voice. You know, the finest in the nation, and he will then say, "But no one's putting a mic in your face at a press conference
yeah,
because you're just not gonna be like, I'm gonna fucking fight Jake Paul. I'm gonna like Conor Ben's been doing like gack on this one, and like it's like
yeah.
they're just not getting that, and it's how do you feel with the now the uprising of the YouTuber reporter?
And the clickbait
Because
land.
it's
Uh,
changed a little bit over about
yeah,
for about a month now. Like Junior was pissed at a few of them yesterday. He
yeah.
point blank in his cyborg eyes just went, "That was a boring question. I'm not answering that." And it was just
Yeah.
like,
Well, funnily enough, I asked Dev from Frank Warren. I said to him just outright, like,
God.
me and you just need to have a co host thing going on. Like,
Yep.
get me on there. I'll get my
Yep.
tux out. We'll chat. I'll bring the entertainment. Like, I can chat some smoke if you want. And yeah,
Act.
let's do it, kind of thing. And he was like, all right, well, I'll hit you up with an opportunity soon. So yeah, never knock that. I'll get on there. And
Yeah.
in terms of the YouTube boxes,
Oh no, don't worry about that. The reporter ones, not the box, the YouTube boxes. That would be rude to bring it down to even speak to you about that. But
Yeah.
like the equivalence of like if we were focused enough to actually make it to the press conferences and get media passes, like the ones that just are literally mic in your face and at all costs mic in your face, asking you anything that they can do, like some weird thumbnail, like that one, and it's just like, you know, the engine is whatever. Like they'll just make up some bullshit title just for the click.
yeah, I mean, well, the YouTubers showed boxers the path. Well, one path, like get your following behind you, get people
Mm,
riled up, um, just get people to invest in your character, and
yes.
and then your following will just keep. You have that snowball effect, it gets bigger and bigger, and
Hmm.
Hmm.
then you can have your multi-million-pound or dollar fights because you've got the following. Like obviously us boxers, we just want to focus on the boxing, so we box. But maybe it's a little, not a dig, but it's a little reminder. Actually, show a bit of your personality, and
Mm.
it'll actually pay off, and you get paid more for it. So just be yourself, and it'll be a good thing. One thing Lee also said to me is the only thing worse than a crap product that's being promoted loads is a good product with no promotion. So if you're a good
As
person,
in
good
Lee Wood.
boxer, oh no,
Oh,
Lee
Lee
Johnson,
the
yeah,
yeah.
Sportside.
Your coach.
Um, so in other words, if you're a good person, good boxer, it's a travesty, and you not getting out there, putting yourself out there, letting people
Hmm.
get to know you.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's a good product not being promoted. It's just lost.
Yeah.
No one knows it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I personally would love to see the like this Echo that you've been on with us very very kindly, but like this Echo with Dev doing like the things that he does every now and again with Denzel or any other
Yeah,
fighter, because
yeah,
it's just a good back and forth, and it gets people to know you a little bit more. It gets people to be more
yeah,
invested in you, and
Yeah.
it's that's the perfect way to do it. Chase him up on
yeah,
it. Just be like, look, when's it
yeah. No, I will. Yeah,
that, or
definitely will.
just drive down because we're at the press conference tomorrow. You
Just
come in
show
with
up.
me.
Yeah,
You know Jake, so we just bring Jake in, and then
yeah,
he'd love it. Right,
yeah.
on that note, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have you
Thanks
back
for
on
having me, guys.
hopefully when you announce that you're on the Better Behave Yard card, so we can
Yeah, man.
swan on
Yeah,
into
man.
the
Oh,
O2.
oh, maybe my own card on a different promotion. You know,
Even better.
Frank's got a lot of confidence in me, so just watch that space.
I love
For
that.
sure.
I love that. We've always got Echo. Always got Echo. It's just the classic line, isn't it, on that one? That might even be the title of the episode. There's always Echo. Mate, thank you so much. All the best, yeah?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, champ.
Cheers.
Bye, mate.
Thank you. Bye.